Paul is planting a question really, because I just did a presentation for one of her work groups about setting up your environment ahead of time to be more sensory friendly, because that is a big deal in the disabilities community, and especially with autism. They have a lot of sensitivities that you might not know. So like just sitting in here, those fans up there could be driving somebody bananas just because it's spinning and it's distracting and it's difficult. So yes, I do that sort of thing of kind of how to set up your workspace. I'm going to do a series next month in November at the Potawatomi Conservatories for parents, and it's called Home Sweet Home. It's a two-part series that is going to talk about how to set up a sensory-friendly, sensory-neutral home so that you have this kind of common, unoffensive space that won't trigger any challenging behaviors, and then therefore the child would be more successful in any therapies, or maybe just getting homework done, or just, you know, transitioning from school to home. It won't be this big mess of a sensory assault. So how to figure that kind of stuff out. So I'm doing that kind of thing. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
When you said haircut, a light bulb went on my head, and I thought, have you contacted like dentists, local dentistry? Because I feel like that would be a scary situation for us.
It is super scary, and a lot of times the kids have to have sedation to go to the dentist. There are a couple of dentist offices in town that have specializations in working with kids with disabilities. So no, I haven't. And truthfully, I would like to kind of ease out of doing the haircuts because they're not very lucrative, and they are kind of time consuming. By the time I leave my house and get back, it's easily 2 hours, depending on where I go, and I'm only charging $20. And so, but what I am working on is a curriculum for stylists, so I can train other stylists how to do what I do, and then I won't feel so bad quitting.
Like if a dentist had, hygienist, and had a workshop.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah. My background is early childhood, so I do a lot for early childhood providers and, like child care workers, that sort of thing. But yeah, to get outside of that is really exciting for me. So when I did the juvenile justice system and the probation officers, and they're all sitting there like this, and I've been to like this boot camp prison for teens, and did some workshops there, and they had no idea about all this sensory stuff, and the desks are like this far apart, and I'm like, and you think these kids aren't going to start punching each other, okay. So yeah, I love that. So if you know of anybody, please, bring it on.
I know Afdent is here.
Afdent, thanks. Yes.
Have you had any luck with early childhood facilities like East Bank Learning Center, Growing Kids, anything like that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there was this wonderful lady that used to be at East Bank, who is Brian's fiance. That I started there. I did some workshops for their staff, and then I did yoga. That's another one that I do. I go around to child care facilities and do yoga classes in the morning, so that families don't have to take one more trip to one more function. I just meet the kiddos where they are. You wouldn't believe how fun it is to do yoga with a 2-year-old. So it is outstanding. So yes, I do have a lot of early childhood staff and centers that I work with right now. A couple of growing kids, and then there's friends, and that pretty much filled up my week. Just those 3 filled up my every morning of the week, and then one of them's having me stay at lunch and doing a yoga session for the teachers, and it's good. It's good. Yes, sir.
Do you have any relationships with any of the children's direct care doctors with them to build your business?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, so I don't know what happened there, but okay. So because my daughter has disabilities, she goes to like the only developmental pediatrician in town, and so she knows about what I do. And then I've met with some of the other specialists in that office, and the one in particular is the GI doctor there, and he has flyers up all over his office about, and he even said, I want to prescribe, that my patients have to come to you for a 6-week series before I will give them any more medication, and stuff like that. And so he's done that. He's only had like 4 people take him up on it, but and contact me. But yeah, it's really great. And so far that's what I've got.
Kind of related to that, how big of a mileage radius would you consider offering?
So for the haircuts, I built in a 50-mile radius into my price. And after that, then I start charging mileage. And for whatever reason, I know a lot of people work with this clientele, but not just this clientele. And so when people do web searches for this kind of service, I am the only person in the United States that comes up. I have people calling me from California and Arizona and Florida and Chicago. Hey, will you come over here? I'm like, will you pay me to come over there? And they're like, yep. And so I'm going to Chicago in a couple of weeks to do, like the one mom that called me, her son goes to a special autism school. She's setting it up so that I'll have, 5 to 10 haircuts to do one afternoon, and then train. She's like, and there's a hair salon down the street. You can go talk to them and train them so that we can go there and we don't have to bother you anymore. And I'm like, let's go. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Are you hoping that people find you organically that way, or are you working hard to go out and name different places? What would be your preferred way of getting more business online?
It doesn't matter. Just anything would be great. I do sit on, some boards, and like over in Elkhart County, there's it's called a System of Care, and they have, I'm the chair of their Family Engagement Committee, and so because of that volunteer opportunity, I've got 18 yoga days lined up at an elementary school, and I've done some other sessions and got a job at a studio, and so like these little volunteer things kind of grate on you after. It's like, oh geez, one more thing I'm doing for free, but it really is paying off quite well. So whatever it takes, I'm happy to take anybody's business. Yes, ma'am.
It kind of seems like the haircut thing is like you said, you're the only one in the United States that does that. So, and you're going you are willing to go 50 miles out.
Mm-hmm.
You're only charging $20. That seems like so insane.
And there are some that, it goes both ways. There are some families who are like, well, I can go to Great Clips for $5, so never mind. And we'll just hold him down and let him scream and cry, which is terrible. And then there are other people who are like, oh, no way, and they write me a $50 check. So it's hard to balance.
Don't you think that the people out there, would you ever want to make the hair thing like the majority of what you do? Or
No.
do you like yoga and stuff like that?
And I only say no because this is going to age me, but I can't. Most little kids have hair your color, and it is so hard to see those little tiny hairs around their ears, and they're moving around, and I'm like, with my old lady eyes, I can't see well enough anymore. So I need to pass the baton onto somebody with better, younger eyes. And yeah, it's hard for me. If they just want a buzz cut, I can do that. But if they want something, a little bit neater, a little bit cleaner, a lot of times I can't see all those little stray hairs. But that puts a lot of confidence in me. Thanks. I'm good, I swear. Yes, sir.
For all those reasons, it seems like your time would be best spent, like you said, developing a curriculum
Right.
or guide or even a book.
Mm-hmm.
You can reach out to these people
Right.
all over the country.
So yeah, so I'm writing a book, and I'm trying to decide if it should be in just book form, if I should offer to go and do trainings, or just do like a 3 or 4 part webinar series that they have to pay to do. I recently had to go do a training in South Carolina, and the way that they're going to test for fidelity is that we have to film ourselves doing the presentation. I was like, oh, I'm totally stealing that. That's exactly how I'm not going to travel all over the country and make sure that you're doing it right. You can film it, you can show me what your salon looks like, and then I'll give them a cute little sticker for their window saying that they're sensory certified. I partnered, or my mentor is Kim Becker with Hello Gorgeous, who is has written a book also about how to work with clients with cancer, you know, and do makeovers. And so when I first met her about a year ago, I just like, oh my gosh, how do you do this? Tell me what to do, blah, blah, blah. And she gave me bullet points so I've been working on that for this last year. That's been one of my big goals. Yes, sir.
So, you know, I'm 44, so I think back high school, middle school, everybody's put into one box, right?
Sure.
Special needs,
Right.
retarded, I know it's a horrible word, but
That's what they call them, sure,
right?
sure.
And now, every day I hear new organizations, where do you see the next 10, 15 years for these types of services? I mean, what are some things that maybe you haven't even thought of yet?
Right, no, and I have been able to kind of get some of those answers just because, like I said, when I worked for the Autism Society, I would get so many different phone calls from families looking for so many different kinds of services. So it gave me a good idea of what, you know, the need is. But as my child ages, that's sort of where my focus ends up going. It's like, oh geez, here she is, she's an adult, and there's nothing for her to do. She sits on the couch all day, and maybe one morning a week goes and plays with cats at the Humane Society. You know, like that's not okay. They get all this support in school, and then nothing. And so I really feel like that's an untapped niche. And so if I did have my own location, I would make sure that it was, you know, maybe a hangout too for adults with disabilities. They could have book clubs or just social club or just come together and play games or, you know, get job skills and different things like that while I was trying to do all my other, you know, why not? Thanks, Anna. Yes, sir. Of the clientele. So as far as ADA, probably not. ADA is strictly structural. So it just matters if you have ramps and big enough doors and big enough, you know, hallways and that kind of stuff. But from a humanistic point of view, yeah, there's lots of need out there. So it's just kind of up to you of how informed you would like to be, because in Indiana, well, in the United States, just for autism, it's 1 in 68 people. So you're going to see someone every day. And in Indiana, it's 1 in 50. So, you know, you have those clientele, you just might not know it. And and so just knowing how to recognize if they're kind of like never looking at me or never do, you know, like just some of the signals that would indicate that they're not being rude. It's probably because of this way that they process the whole world. Just makes your interactions much more smooth and easy and kind. That's a big deal to me.